That's the whole objective, you know. I goes back to, when I was in college, Coach Rob used to always tell us, every man is born equal to become unequal, and the same thing with guys. You know, when you put on that board, they all don't grade out the same. You kind of put them in a different class or a different area. No, we all sit there and do that. The possibility of who might be there, who won't be there. And I think all in our mind, we sit in there and we kind of pick who we're picking, who's going to be there for us in the first round, who's going to be there second round, third round, and the fifth round, and so on. I think when you look across this league at this particular time, when you talk about a receiver, basically what we need and what we've talked about is what you call a go-to guy. And that guy, in tough times, no matter what the situation, he's going to be able to make plays for you. A tough guy who go across the middle, guys that are blocked for you, guys that want the football. But I think, we're looking for a guy that we know that when crunch time comes, he's going to be in the thick of it. I think that's the most important thing. There's a bunch of positions at this time, JP, that we got to get better at. And, I think it'd be unfair just to name one, but I think it's also fair to give the defensive line a little credit for where they are. But I'm not going to sit here and say we got to get better at any other position.
All right, welcome back. That was Mr. Doug Williams. Call him Dougie Fresh. This week on Monday, talking with several media about the Redskins pre-draft and what was going in and out of that, I guess what you call war room. It's not a war room, okay? It's just another room where they make all their picks on a whole big board. That board that you speak of, hopefully, has a couple of good players on that board. Wanted to get to some of the things we were talking about before the break, pros and cons of trading up and down. We talked about trading up. What about trading down? Trading down means, hey, I'm all for that. You get more assets. Again, this is a team that needs several positions, and they need playmakers. Not just one playmaker, unless that playmaker is like, Barry Sanders or, dare I say, Robert Griffin III. But that guy's not walking through the door, and that's fine. Nothing against Robert, but, everybody has moved on from that situation. But, again, you're going to need playmakers. And, it means you're not going to – really and truly, it gives you an inside look in their philosophy. It means that they're not committed to any one player so much so that they're willing to bet the farm on it, which is okay. That's fine. You have to be realistic with what you are doing and with what you have. What you have right now is a 15 pick. If somebody wants it more than you do, make sure you get something of value in return. That's a great thing. The cons about trading down, you just move down, but you still are getting assets. Now, mind you, if you trade down and all of a sudden, say for instance, a DK Metcalf is there and he's a player that you want, but there's you get a trade for something and it's just something you can't pass up, then so be it. But again, you're getting assets to build a team. If you are one step away and you had a chance to get DK Metcalf, by all means, go ahead, go for him. But this team is not one step away, and we know that. All right, with that said, you heard from Doug Williams. We're going to bring in another voice that you've heard on this show many times before. He works with the scribe. He's a scribe with the Afro and a good guy. Better known as 50 Shades, the 50 Shades of Gray. Mark Gray. Mark Gray, what's up, man? How you doing?
Proud to be here, proud to be Gray. Every day's a great day for me.
Every day's a great day, except when it's sunny. Well, even then, it's a great day.
It's a great day for me every day now. Can't you tell?
That's a great thing.
It's funny to listen to people talk about the war room with the burgundy and gold. I mean, they don't have a war room. They got a staff and chaos room maybe, but war room, not so much.
Absolutely. All right, so
or at war with each other's room.
That's more like it. Just not quite all on the same page. They haven't been on the same page since somebody brought the team. All right. With that said, Mark, asked the question out on Facebook. What should the Redskins do with this 15th pick?
If you can move up and you're convinced that one of these quarterbacks is the dynamic future of the franchise, you take that quarterback.
Okay.
The jury's so out on all of them. And given that there are only 2 left last year, if Kyler Murray is indeed the number one pick,
Right.
then you need to really consider that asset to go after Josh Rosen. I really do believe that.
Okay.
I was on the Josh Rosen fan club last year. I think he just looks the part. He's got the edge of an NFL quarterback. You can nitpick the intangibles and all that, but I think that, out of the chaos in Arizona,
Right.
and believe me, there are places in the NFL that are a lot worse than
Yes.
Washington
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
Arizona being one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you put the right quarterback in, and you may end up saving Jay Gruden's job. I mean, you think about it for a second. The right quarterback comes in, and you and I had a conversation earlier about how I thought, and I still do believe, they're a lot closer to being fixed than they are to being terminally broken.
Okay.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that Bruce Allen has this tremendous game plan.
Right.
But and from the realm of either overwhelmingly lucky or devilishly brilliant, he stumbled on a couple of real gems when you're able to re-sign Adrian Peterson.
Right.
So you got a somewhat dynamic duo if Darius Geis is half the back that we thought he was.
Or I think it will be. Right.
Going into last year.
Right.
Okay, so you've got the best tandem of running backs now in the NFC East.
Tandem, yes.
Yes,
Tandem, yes.
you do.
Okay, absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, and I'll take 2 over 1 that good in this division than anybody.
Right.
I will.
Or 3, because I mean, you don't forget about Chris Thompson. You have AP, guys,
a
and Chris.
gadget. He's a gadget.
Yeah, but he's a good gadget.
He is.
If he's healthy.
But I'm not. I'm talking about somebody workhorse.
Yes.
25, 30 carries. Take the pressure off even on the checkdowns, which is, what Chris Thompson is.
Right.
He is the consummate check down back. But you're able to keep Adrian Peterson, and then, say what you want. The devilish brilliance that was getting Reuben Foster. I mean, come on. As much as you can look at the way that the optics made the franchise look, you get a first-round talent.
Yes.
Who's been coached by Jim Tomsula, who can really, really play, and all of a sudden, and then you add Landon Collins to that mix.
Mm-hmm.
That
was a good move. Yes, absolutely.
Defense. You've helped the back end of the defense. You've got a running game. So while it may not be the sexiest brand of football that there is, it's tenet to the game. How do you win old school? Run the football. Geis and Adrian Peterson,
Absolutely.
heavy dose. That means your dearth at the quarterback position becomes negligible, and you only want somebody like a Case Keenum who then gets better.
Yes, because all the pressure's not on him.
It's not
Absolutely.
on him to make big plays. And then you've got a defense that's reasonably good enough to stop the run when you have a division that features backs like
Zeke.
Barkley,
Absolutely.
Zeke.
Absolutely.
Name who's ever getting the bulk of the carries in
Philly.
Philly.
Yes. Yeah,
you know. So I think this team is a little bit closer. Now, whether it was part of a brilliant plan or whether they stumbled onto it, that remains to be seen. But the bottom line is, just don't make mistakes with the quarterback position and fill in some gaps here. So I'm not going to mortgage the farm right now. So if I hold to the 15th pick and I draft by position, I either want the dynamic playmaking receiver
Right.
that can take the top off and at least create the perception that he can get deep, so you open up the run lanes for Geis and Peterson. Or I'm looking for that edge rusher.
Right.
Bottom line is, the first round guy has to be a playmaker.
Yes, absolutely.
That dude has to come in and right now be, for lack of a better term, badass.
Boom.
From the jump,
Yes.
boom.
Absolutely.
None of, we don't need any of that, the TCU wide receiver.
He shall remain nameless.
Yeah. He hadn't played so much, I can't even remember his name.
Exactly. He's
Josh Doxson.
just
with
the
an
guy.
emphasis on Doc. Because you can't spell Doxson without Doc.
You can't spell injury without doctor.
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
You can't get fixed without a doctor,
That's
right?
ridiculous.
Boom. So what about, so you posed this question, whether or not you would trade up. Doug Williams answered this question to several media. Matter of fact, the Athletics' Tariq Al-Bashir asked him whether or not he would trade up. And this is what Doug Williams had to say.
Is there a scenario out there where you would envision trading up from 15? And if so, how far would you be willing to go? Is a situation where you might even try to get into the top 10?
Well, I've said all along, the chances of trading up is a lot slimmer than trading back. I think where we are and what we're trying to do here with this football team, we don't make a move either way. We got to work with what we have. We feel pretty good about that. But we got a chance to trade back. It all depends on who's there. If that trade back comes and whether or not you really like that guy and you want him on your football team, or you put yourself in a position to get a couple more draft picks and some other players that are out there. I'm going to go on the record and say that's a possibility that we won't trade up. But it's a great possibility we'll trade back if that opportunity came.
All right, so that was Doug Williams on whether or not he would trade up. News coming out earlier today via several sources on the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. America's news source.
That apparently Mr. Dan Snyder is basically going to take over the first round of the draft and the selection there within. Your thoughts? So again, this is,
and we all know that anybody with a Twitter apparatus and an opinion is suddenly a blogger
they're
/
an
reporter
expert
right now.
I'm an expert.
The guy owns the team. He earns the right to sit in the room.
Yeah,
Let
absolutely.
us hope that he is not actually a part of the draft, because then you start getting into the realm of tomfoolery, chicanery, and craziness.
Yeah, back basically 1999 or 2000.
Yeah, I mean,
that whole thing, the fantasy,
Deion Sanders
free agency,
and the guys with the jewelry outside the locker room type stuff.
Yes, yeah.
All over again. You know what I'm saying? So let us hope that that's not the case. But I mean, everybody seems to think that the organization needs to make a splash and try to get fans back. You know what gets fans back?
Winning.
Being in contention after Halloween.
Winning. No,
No,
not just after Halloween. We're talking about late in the season when it starts to snow.
Yeah, but most of the time the team is out of the race by Halloween.
Yes, true.
You want to at least be
this
in
year
the race until Thanksgiving.
This year they were 6-3, maybe a week or two before Halloween. Then Alex Smith gets hurt, and then boom, you're down from there.
Well,
So I mean, they've been around, but they have to be around in December when it actually counts.
do you know flies are around in the summertime?
Flies around in the wintertime.
So if the benchmark is just for hanging around, and yeah, they've been able to do that, but you want to be in contention.
Oh yes, no,
you
I'm not
want to
taking.
believe that you have a legitimate chance at making the playoffs, and you cannot pack it in December and let the vagrants from other towns in the NFC East just ransack your building.
Right.
And that's the thing that would really concern me as a Burgundy and Gold fan about Dan Snyder being a part of the draft process.
Yes.
The drafts have gotten better without him in the war room, because he is the guy that leads to chaos. Thank God Douglas MacArthur and George Patton didn't roll like Danny Boy.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we know what Dan can do. We know what he's about. He's a good numbers guy. He's a good communications guy before the Redskins. So hopefully he leaves the football things to the football people and doesn't try to overstep his bounds, even though, yes, he does own the team.
Yeah.
But just because you own something doesn't mean you know everything about it.
Well,
Ding.
he doesn't understand the business side of it. And it's been a catastrophic series of nightmares since he fired the media relations staff when he first took over and brought in his PR people from Federal Express.
Yes.
Absolutely, positively, they could not deliver overnight.
And somebody else brought up a good point is that, some people, I think it was Mike Lombardi, he was speaking about culture and how to nurture and cultivate a good winning culture. And that has been lost since Jack Ken Cook passed away.
Absolutely.
And that's 22 years now. So hopefully, if Mr. Snyder is in the draft room, hopefully he, again, lets the football people do what the football people do, and that's make good football decisions for the football team. Not the organization, because the organization is good when the football team is winning. So hopefully that happens. All right, so I wanted to talk about a couple of different things. I wanted to talk about some of the players that are in the draft this year. Say, for instance, specifically some of the guys that the Redskins could pinpoint, like a Dwayne Haskins, who, again, reports now are saying that the Redskins are going to try to get him, whether he's at 15 or whether he's at 12 or whatever. So from
Can
what?
I stop you there for a second?
Yes, please do.
Why is there such controversy hovering over these two quarterbacks now? Or and maybe controversy is such a strong word.
I don't know if it's
But
controversy, but
First
Buzz?
there's the story. No, first there's the story about Dwayne Haskins and his dad being rather surly towards a New Jersey-based reporter.
Right.
Who
I saw
was
that.
writing the glowing, fluffy feature that any neighborhood writer is going to write about the kid that may go
To their team.
Yeah. And then there's, the Kyler Murray stuff all of a sudden that, he doesn't like film work. He doesn't draw plays well on the board. Yeah, but he may drop plays well in the dirt and score a lot of touchdowns before all is said and done. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the only correlation there, and again, you haven't heard this about anybody, is the fact that they're black quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, and you just wonder, just as soon as you start thinking we've been desensitized to that,
It doesn't happen like that.
The rationale every year, something is always leaked. I think Deshaun Watson's had a bad Wonderlic score, or
Correct.
something like that.
Yes.
And we remember the days of Vince Young and all that stuff. So it's crazy to me. So you don't know what to believe in this fantasy world. It is the draft.
Yeah, because experts are not experts anymore.
And
That's what it comes down to.
I will give
And
the
that's-
NFL credit though. They've mastered the art of holding your attention during the
For
NBA
the
playoffs
whole year.
and the NHL playoffs for an event, for two events.
The
The
schedule.
Underwear Olympics,
Yes.
where
that's
guys
it.
run around in very nice athletic wear that could be worn as, male lingerie.
Yes,
It might
yes,
as well
yes. That's funny.
be the dude's version of like the Victoria's Secret
And it-
lingerie launch.
But
or
Mark,
something.
what if they get a whole bunch of female fans simply because
Well,
of the
maybe,
combine?
hey, big ups to them.
That's genius.
I mean, I'm not.
I don't wanna
knocking
watch
them.
it, but-
No, neither do I. And you know what else I don't want to watch? Because the drafts in any sport are made for your personal communication apparatus event. These are the events that when you got the chores around the house, the honey-do list, when you got to go out and do family stuff. Hey, you got your electronics. You watch. It keeps it moving
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
But to sit in front of my TV for 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days now, bro. It's bad enough, 4 hours wasn't bad. 4 freaking days to watch guys come out, get hats, give dap to a guy that's going to jack them for everything as punitive as your socks being too high.
Can we talk about the interviews right after they get picked? These guys have no idea what city they're going to. They have no clue. How do you feel about Green Bay? Well, there was.
I went there and
it's
they
such
had
a
a lot
great,
of cheese.
it's such a great football town. How do you
Brett Favre.
even know?
Brett
How do you
Favre.
know? You've never been to the stadium. You have no idea. You don't even know a person from
Bratwurst.
Wisconsin. How do you even know where you're going to get? those are
It
death.
is.
It is. It's unbearable.
Well, what do you know about the city? Not much. Flew
Not
in,
much.
flew out.
Just be real. Like, man, I'm surprised to get taken by the Packers, or I'm surprised to get taken by the Chargers.
Look,
I've
let's
never
be
been to
real.
San Diego, but I can't wait to get there.
I didn't want Buffalo to draft me. It's too dang cold.
Yes.
I don't want to go.
Be real.
The check is big, so I will take it. But at the end of my rookie deal, I'm out. Don't become attached. I hear the food is good, but I am out.
I plan to eat 1,000 million buffalo wings. Why not? Just be real about it.
Yes, just keep just keep it real, right?
Might as
Control
well
your
keep it-
narrative.
well, sometimes
And
keeping it
you-
real goes wrong.
And you know what's even better about it? You shouldn't even do the interview. Just go right to the Players Tribune.
Just do it.
Just come on over there.
Let them
and,
have a measured response other than, the microphone in their face like, so what does your mother feel like?
But I
Go
will-
ask her.
in
She's
all-
right there.
In all fairness, Deion Sanders has found his niche. as a
Yes, yeah, he's pretty good
broadcaster
about
in
that.
those roles.
Because I was not a Deion fan when he was playing, but I am a Deion fan now.
Oh, he's that dude.
Oh man, I
He's
got
to football what Barkley is to basketball.
Yes, absolutely.
Only he talks better.
Yes, and he's real. Well, Barkley is.
So
Barkley's too real sometimes.
See, Deion went to class.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Barkley
at that time, Barkley had to go to
was
class
making-
too.
Barkley was making baskets while he was supposed to be in class. Matter of fact, that was his class
I
at
don't
Auburn,
know.
basket making.
I don't know.
Basket
Hey, look,
weaving.
during those days, if you didn't go to class, you were not going to play.
This is Auburn we're talking about.
Well, it's not North Carolina.
Wow.
I went there. Where's
Well,
the camera?
that's true.
Where's the camera? I went there. Where is
Yeah.
it? Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there. It's not
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Well, they have been known to, fake a class or two because they can or two.
Yeah, let's just have a class in oxygen. Breathe.
Okay.
Breathe.
Did you
A+, done.
What's your homework? Continue breathing.
I'm just going to breathe, bro. I'm just going to breathe.
So as long as there's no apnea, you will pass the course.
Just don't hold your breath. F. All right? F. And you might die. So
I don't think there'll ever be any comp tickets left for us at the Dean Dome.
probably not. Probably not. But that's all right. Yeah, I said that. I
Yeah.
said that. All right, so let's get back to we got off topic.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's fine. All right, so why was Dwayne Haskins moving down? What really and truly we just talked about that, but why like a player like a Drew Lock, why is he moving up? Other than
Lying. It's blatant, unadulterated lying, which leads me to believe that I don't know if I have the conviction that I would lay enough money or down on it to cash in. You have to wonder right now: is Kyler Murray really going to be number one? I mean, I'm wondering about that because the movement on Rosen has been, and you got to listen between the lines.
yes.
When it comes to drafting and the rumor mill that is starting. Josh Rosen is getting an extra OTA with a coach that didn't know a whole lot about him. You ever stop to think that maybe that coach, upon further review, is like, whoa, let's pump the brakes on Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll
I
stick
see
with
what we
this
have
guy.
here. Yeah.
And then maybe we go after the edge rusher like Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
Or
Even though Bosa has some I was going to get to him in a second, but finish your point.
or the kid from Clemson, Quentin Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they're center. Maybe the Giants are playing the media game because you relieve yourself outside of car before the draft. It's news with certain publications in the Big Apple.
Absolutely.
So again, when you start looking between the lines where everybody's lying and people have inches to fill, and I mean that, folks, from the standpoint of writing stories. You
Yes.
got to clarify that
Yes.
in these politically correct days.
Journalism,
And we
non-journalism
know I am
folks.
always politically correct.
That you get in this town, you better be, or
have
else
to
you're gone. What about a player like Greedy Williams, cornerback from LSU? A lot of people had him, maybe around that 10 to 20 range, but now it seems as if, not a lot of people are as high on him. In fact, Charlie Casserly says that he's not necessarily consistent in coverages. He plays good zone at LSU, but when he's playing when he's in press, he's fairly good. But other times in zone and things like that, he's kind of shaky.
So he's not. So let's get this straight. They're saying that
he's shaky in different coverages,
zone and sometimes shaky in man-to-man. Right?
He's not consistent in coverage.
He's not consistent. Yeah, again, that's just an attempt to
diminish that player.
Yeah, bring down the value so they get him cheaper, lower rate.
Yep.
When you can control the product for an extended period of time at a lower rate, you've won.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what the draft and the combine process is about. Devaluing clearly what you've seen over the entire body of work on film.
Yes.
How do you learn more about guys in
and
their
underwear? Yes.
Then you learn about them with pads and helmets doing their thing against whoever they did it against.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, again, I'm not going to say that Big 12 defense is as good as SEC defense, but you have a body of work.
Absolutely.
Not skills that some dude that's a trainer can teach you how to excel at.
Right.
So you can bleed the league and end up with the Mike Mamula Award or the Jamarcus Russell
Did you go to the Mike Mamula?
Trophy.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we're doing some things now. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break here on Redskins Relaunch. We're here with Mark Gray. 50 Shades is what they call him. We're going to talk more about some of the other players. Matter of fact, some of the mock drafts and some of these people have the Redskins who they're taking at 15 or moving to get wherever. Plus, we'll talk about some of your favorite Redskins draft picks or draft moves. We'll talk about that next and the schedule coming up next on Redskins Relaunch. I'm Winston Hilton. We'll be right back.
This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.